Um, wow. Okay, so I got some Bubblicious gum. Okay, and you guys know. Look, I never eat. I'm like a Kardashian. I'm like a black Kardashian, you guys. I would never eat or drink or chew gum when I'm going live. But it's Bubblicious. Sorry. I'm sorry. Hey. It's Bubblicious. What is up? This is DanieSteel. I am DanieSteel. This is the home of the purple print. What's up? Good to see you guys. Another reason I'm doing this is I really believe in reciprocity. And there's so many people, I swear to God, so many black women content creators that will chew gum. I want y'all to see what this is like when y'all chewing that gum. All right? And what if it's Bubblicious? Okay? Now, Bubblicious ain't the best gum in the world, but it's really good blowing gum. Not chewing gum. I literally just put this in my mouth and I will be taking it out in a minute. Because it's not chewing gum. It's blowing gum. I shouldn't even be eating it. But I'm not going to lie. I just went to the dentist for my second annual cleaning. And as usual, it was, they love me. All right. I'm really surprised. I'm going to be very clear that a dentist hasn't tried to marry me. Okay. Oh my God. Is this annoying you guys? This noise? Yeah, I'm not even trying to hold on. You know the girls that do that. That's all they do. That's their whole personality. They have to understand this, guys. We have to make it clear to them. All right? Oh my God. So anyways, I just gave you guys a little show. Okay? That is, I blow big bubbles. Okay? I always have. Anyways, the dentists love me. They love my teeth. They love my gums. They love my oral hygiene. Okay? Oh, y'all want to hear about gin and juice? I can hear for gin and juice. Who are you? Who are you? Sure. Can I be me? Can I do me? Can I live? All right. So that's it for that. All right. If you guys want to see me chew gum more, I don't know if that's a facet of the internet. I'm more than happy to do that for you guys. Okay. Just let me know. All right. I want to talk about this gin and juice situation. Okay. Because as always, when I talk about these situations, there are learning lessons. There are things to be learned from this situation. And, I've talked to you guys before about how I talk with you guys a lot, right? About how a lot of younger Black women, even older Black women my age, Black women older than me, they feel like, hey, nobody taught me, nobody showed me the way, nobody showed me the ropes. And so when I created my YouTube channel, one of the things that I wanted to do was pay it forward, bestow information to younger Black women, or, Black women my age or older even. Again, it doesn't matter to me age so much, because it matters mentally where your age is at, really. right? And this is a very tragic, sticky, dusty situation. Ugh, one of my cats is meowing and I don't know why. I'm like, I've done everything I can for you. So let me start off by saying this is just something that I want to talk about just kind of briefly, talk about it. We'll play some clips, some audio clips. Y'all know I don't use people's visuals. We'll play some audio clips. I don't play visuals live if it's a YouTube channel. Okay. So we'll play some audio clips and then we'll be on our way. And I'm sorry that the first 2 minutes of this was me smacking on gum, but it is what it is. Okay, so I've heard of this couple, right? Because they have a catchy name. I enjoy a catchy name, but I'll be honest. I think Maisley is the only Black woman, Asian man YouTube couple that I've watched. So I never watched this couple. I mean, they're not in my age range. Again, I think Maisley is more towards my age range, and I don't watch prank videos of couples. I don't watch. I don't think there's anything funny about it. It's kind of weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. But one of the only couple that I watch is actually a Black couple that does pranks, because I think Black couples do the prank stuff really well. Even Diara and Ken, right? They did prank stuff and it was funny and it was sincere, and of course their relationship um ended, right? But they're young, and young relationships tend to do that. Including this couple, Gin and Juice, right? They are also young and they got together young. And I mean, if you look at the statistics, you would know that couples that are married young, statistically, their marriages don't last. Obviously, because they're young, and you're young and you're growing and you don't know everything. You don't know everything there is to know, right? Which is why men trying to lure you into relationships at a young age, trying to make you mothers at a young age, or even if you at a young age want to be a mother yourself or get married at a young age, you need to reconsider if you're young. These are things, marriage and children, it's really something you should not even be thinking about if you're 25 and younger. Okay, especially as a Black woman. That's my personal opinion. So I'm not familiar with the Gin and Juice couple, and if you guys know something that I don't know while I'm talking about them, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, I'd be happy to correct myself. I don't know a lot about them. I don't watch their videos. Again, I don't watch YouTube couple videos generally. Um, Certainly not in my free time and not as something fun to do, because I know acting when I see it. And I'm not interested in YouTube acting. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a thespian. I'm for the theater. Okay, but if it's on Broadway, off Broadway, off of Broadway, okay. But I don't get on YouTube to watch people act. That's something that younger people do. So this couple got popular. It looks like she learned Korean. Was living in Korea studying. I did as much research as I could, so that I can talk about this with the understanding of the context. Okay. But let's be very clear. We have lessons to learn. Um, because there are a lot of people who will get into situations like this and tell you that they can teach you how to get a man. Okay? So pay attention to that. This is a situation where, and unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion. All right. If your feelings get hurt, if you don't like what I have to say, oh well, ask the Steelies. We don't care about your feelings. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? I have a pretty what? Oh my gosh, she's meowing like I have to do something for her. What is it? I know you're not. What is your problem, Pretty? Pretty? I'm done. I'm sorry, you guys. This is crazy. My pets are spoiled. I blame myself. So, first I want to get into a clip of Zeros talking about this stuff on TikTok, because they had a lot more interesting kind of information of this going on TikTok. I was like, let me try to understand what's going on here, because this is kind of crazy. But I have to be honest. I have to be honest. There are certain interracial pairings that can lean towards cringe. Okay? I think if we're looking at interracial pairings, I think the BWWM pairing is at the top. I don't know what else to say. This is economically, they're at the top. Okay? Their families are at the top. Their kids are at the top. The way they live is at the top. Okay? I'm biased. I've told you guys many times before. I'm like, I cannot stand the Becky Tyrone pairing. I cannot stand. Even with if a BM is with a Latina lady, an Asian lady, I'm like, I'm like, okay, welcome everybody, welcome. Let's have a seat. But when they bring in Becky, you're gonna have hell to pay. And this reminds me of this situation here with Zeros and Gohan. Okay, I might just refer to them as Gin and Juice, because isn't that their name? Okay. So I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you gotta get them wet. You gotta get them wet first. You gotta prep that shit. I have to go to there. I have to be clear. This is a dude that wants to make mixtapes and be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So, start liking smart men that want jobs with salaries. Okay? Start there. All right? This was not one of their best. They're not bringing their best. This was not one of their best. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go into it, get the best. Strive for the best. Because to me, he's obvious. And I want to be very clear about something. We're not doing this whole, we don't know and we don't know, just like the Johnny Amber Heard situation. Most of y'all don't know anything about women that look like Amber Heard. You don't know anything about them. I grew up around them. Okay? They're not exempt from hurting people or making mistakes. They're not perfect. Okay? So we're not going to sugarcoat this for you over here. This guy is clearly in the wrong. Okay? And don't take a rocket scientist to see that. Like, don't judge them. Don't judge them. Shut up. That's what we're here to do. They make YouTube content for us to discuss. That's why they made the content. They didn't make the content because they wanted this to be on the hush. Like, why? This is their business. They made this content. They put this content out there. What do you? So leave all those comments on the playground. We don't do that around here. Let's play this clip, and I'll respond to some more. What's some more? All right, let's play this clip of Saros talking about the situation after she had filed for divorce.
Done within 6 weeks due to abandonment. I don't know how I can really explain that to like people in Korean, but like he waited until all that time to do this because yesterday I uploaded that video, or not video, I uploaded that picture of me on Instagram, and I don't know if it was him seeing me happy that I was like trying to move on or whatever with the situation that he hated, that he was just like, I'm gonna tear you down because people are tearing me down from the situation. He wanted to bring us both down. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, you can genuinely tell that he doesn't give a damn about anybody else but himself. He's so stuck in his victim mentality that he doesn't care what happens to me. He doesn't care what happens to the kids. He doesn't care what is said. While I have been trying to keep the situation under wraps, even yesterday while I was explaining the situation, I was as nice as I could possibly be. I was literally just saying, we're not together, like things didn't work out, whatever. I wasn't gonna say any of this, but for him to go online, that's a lawsuit right there. That's fucking defamation, because I have guilt.
All right. So then they had another video of her talking about being pregnant and knowing that she has to lose weight and planning their wedding. And they're pointing out on TikTok in this video, like, look at his facial expressions. And I know a lot of people, especially with this Johnny Depp, Amber Heard situation, they're like, everyone thinks they're an expert. Well, I'm an intermediate expert. I studied this in college for several years. A degree in studying people, psychology, communication, understanding, nonverbal communication. And I'm telling you right now, that video makes it clear that she was dealing with a guy who thought he was better than her. And there's one thing that I implore of you here on DanieSteel, home of the purple print, right? Is don't ever entertain some dude that thinks he's better than you. Now, I went back, okay, research. I don't talk about anything that I have not researched. I researched this enough to feel like I have something to say on what's going on, okay? Let's get into this video called How We Met Explicit, okay? Explicit version. So they have a very, and I'm giving you a warning now, it is an explicit video. I don't talk like this, okay? On the line, all right? It's very explicit video. I want you guys to hear some of what she had to say in this video, what they had to say about how they met. Okay? Because I think we have to start there.
And welcome back to our channel. So today, guys, we are going to be doing a very long it up every other day, and I ended up getting really sick. I had tonsillitis.
Yes.
Oh my god, it was horrible. I thought I was gonna die. I was on the verge of death. That all happened. I got, healed. The Lord delivered me. And then the day that I felt better was a Wednesday. As soon as I felt better, I was like, girls, let's go out. Like, I'm ready to go. I haven't been out at all.
Okay, so she had tonsillitis, and then she wanted to go out on the town. I know a lot of people are saying that they met on Tinder or Grindr, or I'm sorry, Cup of Fish. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't know everything about the interwebs, okay?
I was stuck in bed for 2 weeks. And so they were like, girl, it's Wednesday. We're not going anywhere. So I was feeling adventurous on a Wednesday. I went out by myself. We met at the subway.
Yeah, well, why I was on the subway is because it was my routine. Go to Itaewon, searching for new shisha bars.
Okay, so people keep saying they met online. And you can hear in this video, they said they met on a subway. And I'm gonna let you know right now, my second growing up, I grew up in upstate New York, but the second growing up I had in college was in New York City, okay? The subway is no place to meet someone. I'm sorry. All right. Now they're in Korea, maybe their subway's a bit different, but the subway is no place to meet someone. Let's start there.
Stuff like that. I was also hungry. I saw you on the subway. I'm gonna go eat something.
Pretty much. So we was sitting on the subway, he was thinking. We ended up going out to eat together. After we were done eating, we went to the shisha bar.
Okay. So they met on a subway. And I get they're young, right? They were young. When you're young, you'll do. I did some crazy, okay. Because people were asking me out on the subway. I'll admit it. Okay. But I didn't marry them. I did not have children with them. These subway, all right, shenanigans. Subway shenanigans.
And that's when you tried to put it down on me. Not tried to, you did put it down on me. Y'all remember from last video, he said fuck it, and then.
Okay, so.
Exactly. So we're like making on the shisha bar. This is where we'll start getting a little bit more explicit.
Yeah.
And seriously, guys, if you have not seen part 1, the PG-13 version, go watch that and then come back and watch this video. Okay, so you can get all the nitty-gritty, all the little details.
We're just sitting down, laid back, right? It was a hip hop shisha bar.
Right. It was content. That's what the name was. Yeah.
And this was my whole intention, just chill back, talk.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing disarm though, but still chill. And oh my god, I was looking into her eyes. God, I was like. Yeah, I was like.
In which case, he would like blow the smoke into my mouth, right? At that point, after you asked me to share shisha, we like start making out like in this place. And oh my god, it was so funny because like we were literally the only 2 people in there, and then there was like the bartender.
You commented?
He did.
He commented on the video saying it wasn't you guys. Like I saw you guys. I worked there. I was like, oh, bro.
Lying.
He was like, was it Compton? I said yes, it was Compton. He was like.
After we left that place, we went kind of like right upstairs to a cocktail bar that we found.
Yeah, very near, like 30-second walk from me.
Right. So yeah, we went to a cocktail bar. I feel like at the cocktail bar is where we really started to
connect on emotional.
Not emotional, sexual, obviously.
But emotional too.
I didn't feel any like romantic feelings for him like at first, but it was like there that it was like, oh, like he's into me. He wanna get into it. We're drinking, shot after shot, throwing it back. You said, what's bobo in English? And I was like, oh, it's like a peck. And you just like peck, and you just kept asking me for like kisses and stuff. Consent. Okay, we got super drunk.
Okay, but here's the thing. Why are you asking someone you just met to kiss you? That's a red flag. I don't care how young you are, hookup culture. I was young. I was young. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Okay? I was young. I'm telling you it's a red flag. I'm telling you it's a red flag. I would go out when we were young. When I was young. Okay, I would go out to the bars and the clubs. Okay, now I go to the Michelin star restaurants. It's different, private wine rooms. Okay. And I would be dancing with a guy. This is why I hated clubbing. This is why I hated dancing, right? Because I'd be dancing and then they'd come and do their little grind up on you thing, and I was like, ugh, why are you touching me? That's number 1. Stop touching me. I didn't give you consent. What makes you think, okay, because we can do a honky tonk, we can do some ballroom dancing, but you getting behind me and dry humping, that ain't part of the deal, right? And then these guys would just want to be making out with you like on the floor, like what I look like, J-Lo? Get on the floor, what? Get away from me. And I don't care how drunk and messed up I was. I mean, don't get me wrong. But generally, when a guy is trying to initiate sexual contact, first thing, that's a red flag that this isn't a long-term guy. This might not even be a decent guy, because that's probably like the least functional thing you can do as a man when you meet a woman, right? There's a bunch of things you could do. You could be like, hey, you want to go out for a cup of coffee afterwards? Something that I would love. No, he's sitting up there. You know, it's like, oh, what you giggling and smiling at? All right, anyways, let's listen to some more.
Basically, I asked my roommates if you could come through.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, girl. So we went to the house. Okay. Boom. Scene is set. Recap done. This is where things.
Yo, she said it. She said it. Deshante. She said it. I didn't say it. She said it. I don't know how to make that clearer to y'all. And now this sounds like an intelligent woman, Saros. She sounds college educated. I don't know if she is, but she sounds it. She said she was teaching in Korea, and that's why she was there. So if she's teaching in Korea, statistically, she has a college degree. And I want y'all to understand right now, this is what a lot of BMs do. Okay? We call them BMWs. I'm joking. Okay. This is what a lot of BMs do when they date interracially and they bring non-Black women into the community, right? They're not getting their best. They're making you deal with people on the lower ends of their society. And they bring this into the community, and then we all got to deal with it. I'm sorry, but I brought top notch. Top notch. That's why they mad. I brought top notch. That's why they're mad. Everybody mad. Everybody mad. Okay. The Black folks is mad. The white folks is mad. Yes. If I'm coming for you, I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for the best. The best and the brightest. Okay? That's how I recruit. The best and the brightest. Okay? I have 2 degrees. My husband has 3. What's up? We both double major in undergrad. I was cum laude. My husband was like summa, kuma, duma, for shuma, money for shizzle. Okay? That's what my husband got leaving college. In undergrad, when I met him in a school setting multiple times to know somebody. Not on a subway.
Start getting crazy. So we go to my house, we chilling, drinking, flirting. My friends, they noticed like we were super, like extremely intoxicated. Yeah. So they were like, we're gonna go to the convenience store, we're gonna get you some chocolate milk. Yes. And when I tell you, homeboy was on my with the quickness, y'all. He was like, "Where's your room?" I was like, "It's over there." And like, I remember, like, we were feeling good, and like,
we were young and wild, bro. I was thinking they were like, "I'm gonna get you chocolate milk right there. Leave the house. We're in this house alone." The logical thing would be to wait until they come back 5 minutes later with the chocolate milk, drink it, and then get to the do or whatever.
But in that 5 minutes, y'all, he was ready to risk it all. So he's like, "Where's your room?"
5 minutes. You ain't risking nothing in 5 minutes with me, but a bump upside your head. 5 minutes? That ain't enough time. Y'all know the slogan over here. First, he got to get me top. What? That's going to take more than 5 minutes. And why are you trying to engage me in that way when we just met? I don't know you. Keep it bougie, ladies, okay? Keep it bougie. And now this is not me judging her, because like I said, she's young, and I think young people should try things, should risk things, should do what they want to do, okay? The problem comes when you make encounters like this turn into something deeper, okay? This should have been an encounter, okay? Now, they have 2 beautiful sons out of their marriage, their short marriage to one another. 2 beautiful sons. So, you know, it was all worth it or whatever. But the point is, okay, to avoid situations like this, where you got some guy taking $10,000 out of your account, $10,000, I would have had the bounty hunters on you. $10,000. She said she didn't want to press charges. We don't do that over here. You want to act a fool? Pay the price. Something else she also said when she got pregnant with him in her video about the abuse allegations, right? Is she said to him, if you don't want to be a father, I understand. Nope. 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 I've never, well, one, I've never been in that type of situation. But if you're trying to enter places raw, get to work. That's all I have to say to you. Get to work. Old boy was complaining about how he's like, I couldn't sleep. And you have 2 kids. You have 2 kids under the age of 3. Now you ain't sleeping. Get your ass up and get to work. You're young. You got plenty of time to sleep, bruh. But you want to shoot up the club and then talk to me about being tired? Where is Pretty? I swear to God, I'm sorry, you guys, but I feel like my cat is stuck in a wall somewhere and I'm kind of freaking out. Oh my God. And I don't know if you hear, like, there's like ripping and tearing in the background right now. Like one of my other cats is just like destroying something. These pets are out of control. Okay. They're out of control. If you're new, please thumbs up the video and subscribe. If you're old, please thumbs up the video and you better be subscribed. So it is what it is. Like I said, unpopular opinion, tough lessons, but my steelies are in the chat. I see they get it. I see they get where we're going. We're not here on that young in love-ish. All right? I love a man that makes money. I love a man with a steady income. I love a man with career ambitions. Not a guy that's looking to make a mixtape. Okay? Okay? And look, if you're looking to make a mixtape and you got a whole bunch of money on the side for some reason, go ahead and make the mixtape. But he wants to skeets, and then complain that he doesn't get to be a kid. Cause see, where his parents' house, where he was before you met him, he gets to be a kid. He gets to be a kid. Toys R Us kid. Trick stuff for kids. You're dealing with a situation here. And see, this is why a lot of women, they won't like you because they don't want to hear the truth. They want to be in love. Look. Some things are a hookup. What, Pretty? And some things, you know, some guys are for marriage, right? Nuclear physicists, right? That's someone you entertain for marriage. Not some guy on a subway that wants to make a mixtape. I don't care. I don't care, you know? So if she wanted that to be her little fling that she had, you know, while she was out teaching overseas, go ahead. Why is he here now bothering everyone, taking $10,000 out your account? Now I got to give you some money because he done took $10,000. You see what I'm saying? It makes everybody have to, you know, sort of deal with this toxic person that you've brought into the lives of your family and friends. You have to think about that when you engage in any relationship. And that's always been made clear here. Oh my gosh. All right.
We go to my room. He starts like basically stripping me. And, like, we still have clothes on because you're like, they could be back any minute.
Yeah, I didn't even gotta make her wet. I just slipped right in.
No, pretty much. It was so hot. Like the tension, you know what I mean? Because it was just like, oh, the danger, they could be back any minute. And y'all know, oh my God, I'm getting butterflies in my stomach right now. You know that feeling when like it first goes in?
Oh my God.
It hurts, but it's like a good kind of pain. Because you know, we got a big boy over here. Hey, you left me hanging.
Sorry. I was just thinking about the scene. I remember every second of that day.
Anyway, she was always trying to flatter him in their videos, from the little videos that I've seen. You know, so like in their video where they first meet, and he wants to hook up immediately, which is a red flag. A man of quality isn't gonna do that. He's not gonna be like, I don't know you. I don't know your middle name. I don't know your favorite color, but I want sexual access. I want you to spread and reveal yourself for me. A good man is not going to do that. Now, it could lead to there. It's happened. It could lead to there, but I would say it would be more so on the woman's part than the man's. This video, they're both saying that he was like, where's your bedroom? What does it matter? What you gonna do? Leave a stack in it? Drop some money off in it? What are you gonna do in my bedroom? There's nothing you can do up there. That's my response. That's why they mad. Okay? If you want quality relationships, you need to understand the difference between a hookup and a husband. Amen? All right. And again, we're not blaming her for anything. I'm just using this couple that I've just met to set an example of some red flags and some do's and some don'ts. Okay. So again, that's a red flag. When a guy feels entitled to sexual access to you when he just met you, that's a red flag. So you can be sitting there and be like, oh my God, it's so hot. Another ding should be going on in your head that's saying this is also a red flag. Perhaps I probably don't want to get into a deeper relationship with this person. And that's what ended up happening here, right? She gets into a deeper relationship with this man, ends up getting pregnant by him, and then marrying him and having another child with him. And I don't know when they got married. I don't know if it was at the first child or the second child, but it is not customary to have kids out of wedlock in Korea. But oh, here's the catch. He's not in Korea. He's in America, where everybody plays that game and ha ha he, right? And this is a lot of things that, you know, when I see women being like, yeah, you know, get a POC man. Their cultures are not less racist. They're not more welcoming. Different groups have hard times being around each other, sadly. Okay? Sadly. It's not going to be one group that likes you more than the other. Everyone has their problems, and it is what it is. And sometimes you'll meet someone who doesn't have a group think mentality. Someone like me. But a lot of people have a group think mentality culturally, nationally. So you guys get into these relationships thinking that because they're brown, there's nothing brown about this guy. Okay? Stop calling all POC brown, because they're not. Thinking that because they're not white, it'll be easier. You'll get along more. They'll be nicer to you. It's all a roll of the dice. Depends on how their family is. Depends on how they are. Now, I don't know much about this guy, but it was revealed in their videos, right, that he said he was a victim of abuse by his father. Now, what I find interesting is she was saying, okay, because we all know how it works in the Black family. If your mama knocked you out when you were young and she gets mad at you as an adult, the chances of her putting hands on you are high. As an adult, as a young adult, certainly, right? That's living in her house. So she says that she was like in his room and she was like hiding and her dad didn't see her. His dad didn't see her and his dad was yelling at him. And so she like witnessed this kind of verbal abuse. If it was physical as he's saying, I believe the daddy would have hit him. You know what I'm saying? I believe that it would have got physical. Because when people are continuously physically abusive, they're continuously physically abusive, right? And they'll do it. They won't hide that from other people. They'll do it in front of other people too, you know? But anyways, that's just something that I would consider, that he's lying on her. What else is he lying about? Now, he obviously had a tumultuous relationship with his father. But did he put hands on him? Or is this someone that sees any type of aggression towards him as physical abuse, right? Those are some questions that I ask. I don't know all the answers to this situation, right? So you're dealing with someone that you don't share the same ethnicity. Now, she's very interested in his culture, and that's obvious. She went to his country. She studied his language. That's more than most people who will ever be with a Black person will ever do. And y'all know this. Okay? So she was very intrigued by his culture. But he just wants to be a rapper. He just wants to be a hip hop star. He doesn't care about Black culture, because when she talked to him about Black hairstyles, he's like, "Then she told me I couldn't have a Black man's hairstyle. Go ahead and have it. Go ahead and get a fade up. I don't care." Okay, but the young kids feel different ways about it. I don't care, but like, why? What's the point? What's the point? Y'all don't have the same hair texture. Why would you mimic their hairstyle? You know? And then he was like, he brought that up like it was like, she said I couldn't do my hair like a Black man's. Like, that's hurting you? You're dealing with someone that's not only has a different ethnicity, a different race, a different nationality, and therefore y'all have nothing culturally in common. This ain't a fairy tale. This is real world. Why did that turn into something deeper? And here's why I think it turned into something deeper. I think that a lot of Black women don't understand that even if they don't lead with their degree and career, which are things that I believe Black women should obtain, but not lead with in conversation when dating. Okay? Not only do a lot of Black women lead with their career and their degrees in conversation, but they lead with, I'm a hard worker. Okay? And what we saw from Soros's videos is she revealed to us that she was working multiple jobs to keep their family afloat before those YouTube checks started coming in. Okay? Welcome if you're new. Please thumbs up the video and subscribe. Thank you. Multiple jobs. And Black women need to understand that you will lure in dusties, predators, and overall lazy mother suckers when you lead with how hard you work. That's for you to know. That's for you to know. If we on a date, all I can tell you is I don't pay a man's bills. Never have, never will. All right, go rhyme that for your little rap career. I don't pay a man's bills. And instead, she went and told him and showed him that she is a hard worker. And I think that that was attractive to him, and he took advantage of that. I think that he was pushing her boundaries when they first met to see how far he could get with her sexually. And when you do that, you will ignite in a predator an understanding that this is a person I can push There are boundaries. And when you're dealing with sociopaths and narcissists, this is someone that I can get what I want from very easily, because look how easily she gave me something that is to be so cherished. Yeah. You're in a society where hookup culture is different. And there's a stigma and a stereotype in a lot of people's heads about how fast and willing and eager you are as a Black woman to give it up. So never give it up, okay? They called me Sierra in undergrad. Not my goodies, okay? Never give it up. No, it's mine. It's mine. So you're not going to get that. What else can we talk about? What else can we do? What you want to do? You like to paint? Do you like to pay bills? We're not going to waste a bunch of time doing that. You got to put your foot down and understand the culture of the person that you're dating. So again, like I said, right, a lot of BMs will take advantage of women who are not Black women, understanding that this woman doesn't know anything about our culture. She doesn't understand the male worshiping aspect of our culture and how a lot of us are coddled and get away with a lot of things. She doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand that my mama and my sister ain't gonna have her back. They're gonna have my back first. It's not gonna be on some womanhood-ish. I saw somebody say in the comments of Soros's video, and I'm sorry, but I hope if Soros comes across this video, she hears this point loud and clear. She said, "Oh, we care more about sisterhood than we care about nationality." Nobody, no group cares more about sisterhood than ethnicity, race, or nationality. Okay? It's time to grow up and wake up. It's a tough world out there. And I think she was dealing with someone that was willing to use her to get what he wanted. He wants to be a rapper. He wants to be in America. Easy breezy. And he can get there. Look at this gullible young girl that was willing to do all of that, just met me. Now I don't have to deal with my family who is verbally and or mentally and or physically abusive to me. I can just go live in La La Land with this chick over in America, where you can do whatever you want. A lot of people will come to America and be like, these people have no culture. They're to be used. Understand that. I had people reach out to me and be like, look, I'm trying to get my green card. Can we talk about an arrangement? I've had people do that. I'm like, you ain't got no money. What can we arrange? You don't have any money. Let's start there. So I think that he saw someone that was a hard worker. He saw someone that he could manipulate. He saw someone that was living in a totally different country. He saw someone that he could use to get back at his parents and get back at his family for how they've made him feel. Because a lot of people will sit around and be like, how could he do it? How could he do it? That's how. That's how. You have to vet. Pay attention to the red flags. Don't sleep on the green ones. There wasn't a lot of green flags here. He sounds like someone that will say whatever he has to say to get to the next point he wants to be at.
Even though I was drunk, really, really drunk.
The first act oh my God, can I even say that? So when it went in, I was like, I got that feeling, right? Because they came back fairly quickly. We didn't even really get anything done. It was just like, a few pumps. You were mad as hell when they came back. You were like,
I was like, where am I?
Try new Almond Breeze.
Look, she said like it wasn't even a tryst that was worth it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just give these guys whatever they want. Let's get into her video.
Nearly 73% of women don't treat their menopause.
Let's get into her video about this, because this is the first video that I came across in this whole situation.
For a long time because while he was here, we needed to get a lawyer and get that whole situation sorted. So I did work like crazy when I was pregnant. I would work like 60, 70 hours a week. So Monday through Friday, my schedule would be, I would be at work from my first job from 9 to around 6. I'd leave at 6, be home by like 6:30, take a nap, get up around like 7:15, get ready and head to my next job. And I'd have to be there by 8 p.m. And then I would work from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. I'd leave at 5, get home by like 5:30, take a nap, and then it was like a repeated cycle. And for my third job, I was working 14-hour shifts on Saturdays and Sundays. So I would work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on the weekends. So because I was pregnant, sometimes I had a really difficult time with things. I would have to go to the bathroom and throw up, or I would get nosebleeds due to the amount of stress and heat exhaustion when I was like working in a kitchen. But I always kept going, and I always told myself that I can do this much for my family. I always thought to myself, it won't be like this forever, and I looked forward to the bright future that I imagined us creating together. He referred to himself as a house slave in some parts of the video. When I met him, he didn't even know how to do his own dishes or laundry, and I had to teach him how to do those things. And with the extensive hours of work that I was doing, yes, he did end up doing a majority of the housework, but I always carried the weight that I could. I did change diapers. It was just that he was home more often, so naturally he was doing that kind of stuff more often. And after having children, I did become very sensitive to smell. I would always want to throw up at like any unpleasant smells, but I always did my part. I would just plug my nose. Lawyer fees were expensive. We had bills to pay and saving up for a new baby, and money was really tight. The morning of July 10th came around, and I was excited to be marrying the man who I thought was going to be the love of my life. We were set to be married at 10 a.m. that day. We woke up around 9 o'clock, and I told him that I had around $20 saved and that I wanted to have a nice breakfast before going to get married. And I was like, I get 10, you get 10. He said he wanted hot Cheetos for breakfast, and we ended up getting in the stupidest fight. And we ended up not getting married that day. But July 17th, which was the day that we actually did end up getting married, was spontaneous, and it was beautiful. Gohan and I had woken up that morning, and we were having some pillow talk, and he looked at me for a long time, and I kind of looked back at him, and I was like, what? Then he just randomly asked me if I wanted to get married. I jokingly said, sure, when? And he got up and said, now. I looked at him with a smile on my face, half confused, and I asked, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, let's go. And I said, know anything about mental health. I didn't know anything about PTSD. I honestly thought PTSD and postpartum was the same thing. So I spent a lot of time researching and learning about it, and they even gave me a pamphlet, and it was talking about healthier coping mechanisms for him to try.
Okay, so sorry, you guys. My cat was stuck in the kitchen closet. So she's out. Jesus, I thought she was in a wall somewhere or something. Okay, so yeah. This is a woman who, it was very clear she didn't understand the situation she found herself in. Okay? Men don't typically try to save women with traumatic childhoods and abuse issues from childhood. They do not. They'll try to sleep with them, but save them? No. This is something that women think that they can do for men. And you cannot love a man out of the mental illness that he will inevitably experience from having an abusive childhood. You cannot love him out of it. You cannot sex him out of it. There's nothing you can do. He has to want to do that work. And so, as someone who, like many Black women, came from an abusive, traumatic childhood experience, I would never say you shouldn't date someone with an abusive or traumatic childhood experience. I would never say that. Because I know firsthand how awesome those types of people can be, because I'm one of them. What I will tell you is you cannot love or sex a man out of that predicament. And if he's not willing to do healing work, he's a lost cause. Okay? He's a lost cause. Or he's a cause you don't want to deal with. Especially because men tend to be more aggressive, right? Anyone that's willing to harm, anyone that's willing to slam their hand down. I've told you guys this. Women get so used to things. It's crazy. I was around someone that he wasn't my man. He wasn't my man. Okay. And anyways, this guy got angry and he slammed his hand down on the table. And I remember being like, oh my God. I was like, ew, like you need to get it together. That's why you're single now. Because what woman in her right mind would be around somebody who aggressively blows up and stuff? If you blowing up and you aggressive and you punching holes in walls and breaking doors and she goes on to say that her husband, ex-husband, allegedly punched himself in the face. If he's willing to do that in front of you, I'm not willing to stick around and see what he's willing to do next. All right? You need help, and I can't help you. Go get that help. And if you love someone, you'd want them to get help. I have people in my life that, I would love to have a relationship with. But if they don't get help, and will sit up there and tell me, years have passed. I don't care how many years have passed. I've been getting therapy in those years. And I know how expensive it is. And I know your ass has not gotten therapy. So again, I'll ask you, how have you changed? Years don't change nothing. Time doesn't change nothing. They have to be willing to put in that work. And if they're not willing to do it, sayonara. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Let your mama deal with that mess. It's not your problem. And I see so many women thinking that they're going to save some guy with love and vajayjay. And it's not going to happen. If anything, what you're going to get is a man that responds to trauma by being a narcissist and a sociopath. That's what you're going to get. You're not going to save him. He's using you and he's manipulating you because he thinks you're a lick. Don't flatter yourself with a guy trying to jump all over you one night. Because he was sticking to her like his life depended on it, okay? Right? Then she goes on to say, like, after they hooked up, he, like, stayed at her place for days on end. Why wouldn't you want to go home? Because he didn't have a home because he was staying with his parents. And if you stay with parents, see, a lot of people will flex about, and my parents let me stay with them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, if you want to flex that your parents let you stay with them well into your 20s and 30s, that's fine. But don't complain about the rules that they set into place while you're there. See, anybody in my house is going to follow my rules. And I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 80. If I say shoes off at the door, shoes off at the door. If I say my door don't open after 10 p.m., my door don't open after 10 p.m. for nobody. Y'all don't want to put up with those rules, but you want to stay living with your parents. Which is it? Because you're going to follow rules in my house where I'm paying rent. So he didn't want to stay with his parents and follow their rules. And she seemed like an easy way for him to escape all that. That's why seeing him.
Out. And they had also acknowledged that self-punishment was a common response to victims of childhood abuse. When he had his final evaluation, they reached out to me and told me that it was my choice to keep him in there or to take him out. They advised further evaluation, but I declined, saying that I wanted my husband back. He had a prescription for some pills and he didn't like the way that they made him feel, so he didn't want to take them. And I just complied and told myself that he's an adult. I can't make him do anything. And if he says he's got it, I believe he's got it. Time went on, and even though Gohan's self-harm became less frequent, it became more intense. I remember one argument we were having in the kitchen. He went and pulled out a knife, and I went giggity, a lot of shit. And I was like, "You're gonna pull a knife out on me?" And he looked at me and said, "What? No, this is for me. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt myself." And I was in shock. There was another incident where I came home to my husband's face all bruised and bloody, and I asked him what happened, and he replied that he punched himself. And I know this sounds horrible, but sooner or later it just became something that was normal to me. I quite honestly became desensitized to the situation, and I didn't stop him from trying to hurt himself anymore. It became like a regular thing. He would just always hurt himself. Sorry guys, like this is always but he's heavy. I remember trying to bring him upstairs and put him in bed. I got halfway up the stairs when Gohan stood up and looked at me in oh, we're gonna get through this.
You know, where my heart really breaks for Saros is that this is the father of her children. This is the father of her children. She brought life into this world and gave him legacy. And at such a young age, you know, men know exactly what they are doing when they impregnate young women. They know exactly what they are doing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, any woman over 35 would have a totally different experience to the father of her children. You know, she'd be like, okay, well, you don't want to act right, goodbye. You know, men. But when you're young, and that's why you need to protect your mind and your heart more than ever when you're young. Okay? I said no to a lot. I curved those boys, okay? I said no to a lot of dudes, a couple of women too. I said no because I knew I wasn't ready for a relationship and that they weren't the right type of person for me. You know what I'm saying? And it can be just that simple. When you know that you had a traumatic childhood, an abusive childhood, your first concern needs to be empowering yourself, educating yourself, making money for yourself, and healing yourself. Not falling in love and getting married and making babies. And if nobody's going to tell you that, I'm here to tell you guys that, right? Because I tell you guys the things that you don't want to hear. It's a long commercial. They got a lot of money. They get those commercials that you can't skip. Okay? On their channel. Let's see. She has some captions here. Reliving and recalling these moments proved to be very difficult for me, so I could not stop crying. I will put the next few sections in text. He looked at me and proceeded to start punching me. And if you try to do that with me, it'd be the last thing you did. It would be the last thing you remember doing. Guaranteed. I've always been very clear to any man that I'm around. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. All right? Because apparently she went and told her brothers, and her brothers approached him or something. And then he said, I couldn't find the videos where it sounded like he made some videos that were kind of anti-Black, which I'm not surprised. And he was like mad that her brothers like handled him after he put hands on her. You would be more than handled. Just like she needs to understand the culture he's coming from, you need to understand the culture that you're coming into. We put hands and feet when you mess with family. And I don't care who you are. I don't know why you think you can come over here and put your hands on somebody and you're going to walk away unscathed. So again, you don't have anything in common culturally, ethnically, racially, nationality-wise. And he can fly back to his country and leave you a single mother and nobody there. You think his family, I'm sorry, let's get real. Let's get real into it. You think his family is not over there telling him, you don't have to take care of those kids. Those are her kids. You have to take care of those Black kids. You think his family over here saying that? If his family was over there, it's just like the BC. It's just like the community. If their family members, when they came over for that plate, you know, they love to come over for a plate. If they came over for a plate to Big Ma's, and she was saying, you can't get a plate because last I checked, you're not taking care of your kids. You're not even welcome here. Like they said in Jason's lyrics, the doors will be locked. Okay? That would give these dudes less incentive to behave the way they do. But apparently men can go making babies all across the world and they can come home to Ma, you know, and his mother feels, she said in the videos, I've watched many different videos of them, okay? I can't tell you exactly which and all that, yeah. His mother told her, like, yeah, he hit you, like, he was abused. So his mother feels bad about allowing him to be abused as a child, and she doesn't care what havoc he wreaks as an adult. She's going to spend her time coddling him out of guilt. You're not safe with a man like that. I would never allow my son to put hands on a woman. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be aware of that kind of stuff when you're dealing with a man. His family is over there telling him what he's doing is not wrong. And a large part of that is probably because you're Black. And he thinks he's better. And you ain't. You know, so then she said he put hands on her. And apparently he also says that she put her hands on him and Johnny Depp gave him the courage to come forward. I ran back down the stairs crying in shock, and he went back down to laying on the steps. I sat in the corner for about 2 hours trying to tell myself it didn't happen and trying to tell myself he didn't mean it. And it was an accident. I went back upstairs and helped him get into bed. And I had the hardest time falling asleep next to him. If you put your hands on me The dumbest thing you could do would be to fall asleep next to me. Because self-defense doesn't stop. It continues well into the night. And I've never, had to deal with a relationship where a man put his hands on me. Of course you can't help if somebody assaults you out of nowhere. But I've never been in a relationship with them where a man put his hands on me. Because I'll let a dude know, like, you won't get far. I'm not a chick to try to mess with. Y'all don't let these dudes know that. I don't care if it's, keeping the Glock on you. Okay. I watch a lot of like Evil Wives TV shows, crime shows, and like this one woman would keep her butcher knives hanging over her bed. And she was a black widow, right? She would take all of her husbands out. Okay. And it's like, you didn't see all those knives hanging over her bed? Put the knives over your bed, okay? Let them know what's up, okay? I will be on a Black Widow episode before I let you put your hands on me.
When he woke up in the morning, he said, "Good morning, babe." And I just stared at him. I couldn't form any sentences. I didn't know what to say. He could tell something was off, so he asked me what happened. And I said, "You don't remember anything that happened last night?" And he was like, "No, not really." "Why? Did I do something wrong?" So I said, "You don't remember hitting me?" And he said, "I hit you." And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "I briefly remember something like that, but it felt like a dream. Someone was bothering me, so I hit them, but I thought it was just a dream." And he didn't even apologize. He proceeded to make comments like, "Well, I bet it probably didn't hurt that bad." And that he wasn't in his right mind. And he went as far to even say that I deserved it. I grabbed Savon and I left for the whole day. And when I returned, he was on hands and knees begging for my forgiveness, saying that he would never let it happen again.
So I feel like the times when he was like, would beg her for forgiveness is because he didn't feel like he was ready to step out on his own yet. Y'all saw the cheating video. He was up there cheating on her. And when he get on, he leave you ass for a white girl. Y'all have to be very careful about dating these pale pookies, as you call them. Pale pookies. Y'all have to be very careful about that. Because this dude wants to be a rapper, he thinks that, he thinks that hip-hop culture is black culture. A lot of people will do that, right? Where they see hip-hop culture, and hip-hop culture is misogynoir-filled culture, right? And a lot of people will see hip-hop culture and be like, this is their culture. No, it's a facet of our culture. That would be like me going up to you and being like, K-pop is your culture. And wouldn't that be silly and offensive? It's a facet of black culture. It is not black culture. So when you're dealing with these pale pookies, right, they're emulating this behavior, this toxic male behavior, this misogynoir-filled behavior. They're emulating that. So surprise, surprise, he went to the club and was booed up on Becky. I bet you Becky didn't let his behind, because he said, "Oh, it's not cheating if I didn't sleep with her." I bet you she didn't let you sleep with her. I bet you that. She was giggling and laughing for that camera click, and then she's like, "Get away from me." So, if they're emulating the hip hop culture, hip hop culture puts non-Black women on a pedestal. And you have to understand people's cultures and understand the world. Asian culture also puts whiteness on a pedestal. All right. White aesthetics, things like that. Right. Not all of their culture, but there's certainly a facet of it that does that. Right. And combined with him wanting to be a rapper and not a rapper, a rapper, and emulate hip hop culture, right? What a flex that he can go and like hook up with this Becky on camera, right? And a lot of POC cultures are like that. In fact, I couldn't tell you a specific culture that wasn't like that. These men put non-POC women, non-Black women on pedestals, and then tell their women, and you better not like white men, and shame their women for dating out. This is what a lot of these cultures do. So again, surprise, surprise, he thinks he's better. And he wouldn't, I don't think he would stay with a white woman because he wouldn't be allowed to feel like he's better than her. Not in America. Not in America. He have to do a Sally Fields on her, not without my daughter. You know how they love to trick the white woman to come over to their country and she can't leave because she can't leave with our children and shit, right? He would do one of those moves on Becky. But again, people are saying that he said some anti-Black defamatory things. They kept saying in their videos, like, this isn't about race. And I'm like, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but you guys are different races. Different races, the groups do not get along. So if you can't be a person from that group that I can get along with, get the fuck out of my face. And I've seen other people's videos about him talking about something. He needed help writing bars. You need help writing bars? Give it up. It's not your culture, okay? I'm not trying to sing K-pop, okay? You're not meant to be a rapper, bruh. You got 2 kids to take care of. That's it. She won't let me sleep. What you need to sleep for when you got 2 kids? What you need to sleep for? So you're not ever supposed to feel pain? Huh? You're not ever supposed to put in work for anything because your daddy beat you? What they got to do with everybody else? That's stuff you're supposed to handle before you have kids. Go ahead and handle that. You wanted to make another life. And you complain about sleeping? I probably slept 4 or 5 hours a night when I was in my 20s. That's the time to put the work in.
And he did, in fact, remember hitting me and said that when his dad used to hit him, when he would try to call his dad out on it, he used to say things like, I don't remember. He would just brush it off by saying he didn't remember. And he said he learned deflection from his dad. All in all, I decided to stay with Belgian. I loved him, and I tried to justify the abuse by telling myself, poor Belgian, he's just a kid who got kicked around too many times.
But he's not a kid. He's an adult. You're not responsible for the trauma that you endured, but you are responsible for your healing. Your unhealed ass will not be around me. Black women, Black women particularly, I'm talking to you. Y'all need to start adopting that mentality, okay? They're not responsible for the trauma that they endured, but they're responsible for their healing. They're responsible for how they project. their trauma onto you. They're responsible for the generational curses and cycles they choose to repeat. And that eliminates them from the mating pool. So we're using this scenario to take a look at that so we can have an understanding of that. So that you guys can't say nobody didn't teach you.
I wanted to help him. I believed in him and I believed in us. In November of 2020, when I was a couple...
There's not a man out there that wants to help a woman. They just want you to do what they say in bed. Did you know that? It's time to start using them the way they use you. Not trying to save them. You cannot save them. If anything, when someone endures childhood abuse, you have to understand this person's mind is going to function differently. And oftentimes, which is why the problem is so rampant in oppressed cultures. So if you're in a group of people that is considered oppressed, consider yourself to be amongst a group of people with a lot of narcissism issues. I think a lot of times people think about narcissists, they think about somebody that's slick back, like American Psycho, or somebody that, you know, is very charismatic, or it's not always, it don't always look like that.
I was pregnant with Sophia. It was Thanksgiving morning, and Gohan and I had woken up early to be in the kitchen to make our contribution of our dishes to our friends and family for the holidays. We were in the kitchen all morning because the house was soon to be flooded with a whole bunch of people, and my pregnant self did not want to be maneuvering around all those people. We made our food, but being as I was pregnant, I was really tired. It was around noon, and guests were due around 2 o'clock. I told my mom I needed a nap and that I was gonna head upstairs, and she asked Gohan to continue to help her to set up before the guests arrived. He followed me upstairs and said, if you're going to sleep, I'm going to sleep too. And I was like, can you please go help my mom? She asked for your help, and I said that you could join me afterwards. And he was like, no. If I can't go to sleep, you can't go to sleep. You think just because you're pregnant, you get special treatment? I'm tired too. Tried to ignore him. He came up to me and kept bothering me, shaking me, pinching me, and trying to do anything to get me to wake up. I blocked it all out until he slapped me. I immediately got up because I was so angry, and I started yelling, and my older brother walked into the room and tried to break it up. They separated me and put me in another room, and I called one of my other brothers, and I was hysterical. And he was, of course, angry, and he came over and he did slap Mildred. And I really hate this narrative that is going on about angry Black people, because in a majority of these situations, Gohan was always the aggressor. Please bear with me.
That's what I'm talking about. They're having conversations where they're stereotyping Black people and shit. And be like, this isn't about race. Look, y'all are two different ethnicities, nationalities, and races. And that is a facet of this conversation. He would have been walking around with a knot upside his head. Put your hands on me, pregnant? Stomp him in the nuts. Stomp him in the nuts. Boy, nobody don't care about all that. Your family wouldn't let her sit in there. We've seen the videos. We've seen the videos. So everybody knows your family wouldn't allow her to be in y'all home knocking you upside your head. Putting hands on her if she's pregnant. Thinking he can just go away to a different country and not have to take care of his responsibilities. His family over there allowing it to happen. not telling him you need to go take care of your business. No, you don't put your hands on people and just walk away around here. You thought he was so tough and shit. How stupid. Honestly. So her brothers are not supposed to put their hands on you when you're putting your hands on their sister? Get a clue. Understand the cultures that you're interacting with. Understand that. There's other cultures in America where that wouldn't be common. You could probably do something to one of their women family members and the family wouldn't do anything. It don't work like that in Black culture, boo. And Black culture is diverse. I'm not sure what her ethnicity or family's nationality of origin is. But she seems to be somewhere throughout the diaspora, not Black American in history. I could be wrong. I don't know. But like I said, it don't matter because Black people have this thing where if you put your hands on my sister, I'm going to put my hands and feet on you. That's why abusers often look for people who won't say anything. I mean, he wants to play the victim. And he's obviously lying. You can look at his body language. I've told you guys before. I told you guys with the Amber Heard case. Amber Heard didn't shed a tear. Amber Heard didn't shed a tear. They don't all cry. That's not something you can control. Did y'all know that? Crying is not something you can control. If your body is reacting to trauma and you're making sounds like you're crying, but you're not crying, then you're probably lying. Or else you wouldn't do, you wouldn't do that. You would just be like, I experienced this pain in a different way. I don't cry about it. You wouldn't be crying and no tears coming out. Like, learn how to study people. See, I don't listen to a word people say half the time because I'm too busy studying their micro expressions, their body language, their nonverbal communication. I'm too busy studying that. A lot of times I'll miss what someone's saying because I don't care. So, my husband's gonna be back home soon. Let's wrap this up. Okay. I want to get into his response to everything because I think it's really important to listen to that audio before we close out on this.
Needs to be revealed to continue on living like a healthy life. You probably know me from Gin and Juice.
Nobody is saying that you can't or shouldn't date people of different nationalities and races and ethnicities. I'm certainly not saying that. Love who you love, but love who loves you. Don't fall victim to a narcissist. Don't fall victim to someone who has childhood trauma and instead of choosing to heal from it, chooses to project it and to perpetuate victimhood onto other people because of it. Right? Love who you love, but love who loves you. I can't love somebody that don't love me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I wouldn't know how. You know? And, you know, again, I keep bringing up she's young because she was young and I wish that she did know. I mean, when I was her age, I was just as naive. So again, no one's saying that any of this is her fault. None of this is her fault. The whole point I'm trying to make is me being older and wiser and having seen a lot of these traits in people, I recognize things that she didn't recognize. And I want to share that with you guys, you know? And I hope that if she sees this and gets this far into the video, she understands that I'm here for her. I'm not going to the reason I decided to make this video is because I was like, I'm not going to let this guy sit up here and make a bunch of lies when it's so obvious he's lying. because he thinks that people will believe him because she's Black and he's not. It ain't going down like that. There's no, mutual abuse in this situation. He seems to be very sociopathic, narcissistic, and doing anything he can to get what he wants, which apparently is a mixtape. You better go ahead and take care of those kids. That's what you better do. But as far as the relationship being over, she should count herself lucky that she hasn't wasted a bunch of years on him, and she's still young and she still can go out and meet someone that's worthy of her, not someone that's using her to get what he wants, someone that doesn't want to grow up. Your mama might feel bad because she allowed your dad to abuse you growing up, but that's not my problem. He wants everybody to feel bad for him. And if you look at him wrong, he's abused. Other people have videos where he was like, they abuse me, they abuse me, they abuse. Everybody's abusing you. Grown as you is, and you want to make a hip hop song about what, Sway? What would the hip hop song be about? Get out of here. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I've seen so many videos. People are like, I'm not trying to judge him. And I'll judge him. He looks like he's lying. He looks to be a narcissist, a sociopath that tries to take advantage of kind people. They put their business on Front Street. That's why we're talking about it. For all the dummies that'll come into the comments like, hey, why are we even talking about this? They put their business on Front Street. Do you understand? That's why we're talking about it. And he's putting out a narrative that her family was abusive to him. You going around putting your hands on her. I don't know what you think you're going to walk away with, but are not. Looking like Erica from Basketball Wives, you dig? Shame on you. Deadbeats, we don't play that shit over here. Gross. Anyone that gives him attention, I saw the comments too on his channel. I'm like, bruh, you need more people. Nobody believes you. Nobody even believes you. You need more people. Anybody that follows him, following a man that won't take care of his kids, it speaks volumes to who they are. He took $10,000 away from his wife and kids. If you were going to leave the family, you should have left with the clothes on your back. And, it looks like Saros is very smart, very intelligent woman. She made an LLC. She has everything in her name. So she made a lot of right decisions along the way. I don't know if it was just because he was incompetent to handle any financial matters, but good going, making sure that everything was in her name. Good going. Unfortunately, so the money coming in will probably go straight to her and her account. But while he was here in America, he had access to one of their accounts and drained it of $10,000. And that's not a little bit of money. And that's the only reason Becky was dancing with his little behind in the club. Everybody knows that, okay? Because he had that $10,000. I was flashing it. Money that you didn't even make on your own. Becky will take half of that and be on her way before the sun sets. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I want to just get towards the end where of Jen young Gohan's video, okay? Because it was so forced and fabricated. And I'm like, if you can't tell that this dude edited this video, and I know I can only play the audio, but it's only audio, the end of the video where he's trying to be like,
All 3 attempts kind of failed because as soon as it got on my skin, my hand just like sprung out. She said, she'll do it, fuck it, and she'll do it. So she pressed it onto my skin for about...
he talking about she was burning him and doing just weird shit that's not characteristic of Black women, bro. Nice try though. Also, he got some weird tattoo of her on his arm, and it was hilarious. Saros said it looked like Biggie Smalls. This dude walking around with a picture of Biggie Smalls on his arm, and he did it to like manipulate her further, right? To be like, look at me making this sacrifice for you, you know. Because the thing with narcissists that you have to understand is narcissists believe that if they give you anything, time, attention, money, that they love you because they gave you something. And because they gave you something, they reserve the right to abuse you. This is how narcissists think. So he talked about in this video, he was mad. He talked on the phone call they had. He was like, I got this tattoo on my arm. You chose to get that. We saw the tattoo video, bruh. You chose to get a tattoo of Biggie Smalls on your arm. So Rose said, that looked like Biggie Smalls, and you played yourself. Okay? That's what happens when trying to manipulate goes wrong. If you don't have real love for someone, leave them alone. Sitting up there, taking, seeing what you can get. That's not a man.
5 seconds, about 3 times. That's why I have 3 second-degree burns. That's when I decided I have to leave.
And there's video footage of him well after this incident where he claimed that she burned him, and he's showing his body and he doesn't have any burns on him. So that's why I said, to me, it's giving narcissists and it's giving sociopath, because he's willing to go to great lengths with sordid lies to manipulate the situation against her. Someone that is the mother of his 2 children. All he should want for her is the best. There's nothing else he should want for her but the best.
Life is in danger. For a whole week, I practiced putting all my stuff in a bag, including my passport, my music equipments, and I would put them back in its...
He acting like he J-Lo-ing enough. He's like, for a whole week. Can you imagine a whole week every day this boy sitting up in the room, putting stuff in a duffel bag, putting Axe body spray, and a couple of pieces of paper in a duffel bag. Just go. You don't have to practice. Leave. Be on your way. But when you lose your parental rights, don't say anything.
Because she's very smart and she would suspect something. And I got it down to a point where I can stuff everything in a bag in 3 minutes. During that week, she wanted to pick my scabs. I said, no, I don't want you to pick my scabs, but she apparently enjoyed it. Funny thing about second-degree scar.
She was picking his scabs and enjoying it. I'm sorry, I'm a germaphobe, and that sounds like the most grotesque thing I ever heard. Okay? And she said that he self-injured. So picking scabs is something that someone who self-injures would do, not someone who abuses someone else would do.
It re-scabs. After you take off the scab, it scabs again. Basically,
see how he's talking about the scabs and talking about, you see what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody trying to hear about scabs, bruh. The only person that's interested in that is you.
At this point, I'm mentally I feel like I'm going insane. And one night she was snoring. She usually doesn't snore. She has insomnia, so she sleeps like 4 hours, and she doesn't let me sleep while she's not sleeping. So that's why I usually get 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I just packed everything in the fucking bag and I left at 4 a.m. I called my mom and said this and that happened. I wasn't able to tell anybody because if I like any video calls and my phone is completely monitored, even my GPS is on, so she can tell where I'm at, but I can't tell where hers is. I wasn't able to tell anybody or reach out for help to any friends. I left. She changed the password to all my Google accounts. She also changed the password to my Instagram. Everything is paid with her, under her name. Me cheating on her. There's no room for excuse. I did. I was kissing another girl in the club. In the legal eyes, we're still married. So it is cheating. As for future plans, I don't fucking know. She didn't let me make music because I really didn't have any free time. For like the total of 3 years I've been staying in America, I had like 4 days maybe to work on music, hence why I have 4 songs.
The whole time you was in America, you was hitting up the club raw and making babies. But you wanted somebody to give you time to make a mixtape? Fuck out of here. Oh, my husband's back now. I'm still filming, wrapping it up.
That's fine.
Y'all been dropping some tea about Maisley. What's going on? I hope everything's okay. Right, yo. I mean, I don't know when the demic started and I don't know when the panini started and when they started dating, but especially with the monkeypox going on, I don't want to interact with nobody except for my husband. Like, that's it. You know, I do that elbow thing that the liberals do. You know, when a liberal sees you, they're like, we'll bump elbows. Okay, that's about it. And no, I'm not a conservative at all. Okay, I don't believe in a two-party system. Thanks. Okay. Coronavirus. Hello. I ain't touching nobody I don't know. Right. So, all right. That monkeypox. Right. Hello. It's a wrap. I go out in my hazmat suit nowadays, baby. It used to be just a face mask. Now it's hazmat. I do the whole thing, baby. I ain't touching nobody. Deshante, who is married to a Korean man, says, if you go for a Korean man, make sure he grew up in America for at least a majority of his life. My husband is very American and mentally is no different than the average white American guy. Exactly. You know, internationally, they just have very different cultures. And I think that a lot of times it is okay for these people, for men from different cultures to come. I mean, look at Barack Obama, daddy. Right? He was, you know how many brothers and sisters he got? All right. I think men internationally just have very little respect for American women. And if they don't intend to stay in America, then if they marry you and have kids with you, they feel like they can leave and take their kids. You'll end up like Sally Fields, Not Without My Daughter. I guess y'all didn't see that movie, okay? You gotta watch that movie. Sally Fields, Not Without My Daughter. Okay? Because that happens a lot with American women. Okay? They'll take your kids overseas and then you won't never see them again. Okay? So you want to understand what motivates someone. And I mean, you know, international guys are hot. Let's make no mistake about it, right? International guys are hot. They're interesting. They're intriguing. They have accents. But, excuse me? My husband just said, oh, geez, rolling his eyes at me. Okay? But you have to understand that it takes a lot more to make a relationship work, a marriage work, a family work, than the fact that, you know, this guy is hot and intriguing and kind of brooding and international with an accent. Okay? So you have to, a lot of times, I would say international men tend to be very domineering, whereas American men understand more of the, you know, a lot of them want to go 50-50. A lot of them understands how women, you know, want autonomy for their own lives. But internationally, this is something that women are still dealing with internationally. And you have to understand that when you get together. Again, Go-Jun, Gohan, Jin, sounds like when he says things, it sounds very unnatural a lot of times. Like, I was so in love with you, and it's just not a way that men talk. It sounds like he'll say anything to get to where he wants to be. That's what it sounds like. And a lot of international men will do that. I'm just being very frank with you. A lot of international men will do that. They'll be like, they'll believe that American women are easy. If you're black, they'll believe a lot of times that they're better than you, and think that they can get away with manipulating you and using you. Now, they do that here in America, but at least you can understand what's going on when they do it in America. It's hard when they got the accent, you know, and they're saying all these exotic words, you know what I'm saying? So really, and you're young, you have to make a choice as a young person. Like, I'm not going to engage. I don't care how much I love someone or falling in love with them or how sweet they are or interesting they are. I'm not going to get pregnant by someone that's not my husband. And I'm not going to marry someone that I haven't thoroughly vetted and know wants to be a husband and a father very well. You have to make that commitment to yourself.
Out. As soon as they came back to Korea, I've been fooling around and making like beats and rapping and featuring, giving out a verse here and there and stuff. That's just the only thing that makes me happy. As far as the babies, I think
Did you hear him? Him making his whack SoundCloud beats, trying to be a rapper. He said that's the only thing that makes me happy. He didn't say his sons made him happy. He didn't say his marriage made him happy, his wife. He said, okay. Ugh.
have to file an international divorce on my end, figure out if I can bring the babies here. I don't have a visual proof of.
He's out of his mind. He don't understand how laws work. They're not going to let you bring those babies there. They're not going to be like, okay, so she gets them for half the year, and for the other half a year, we can risk never seeing them again, letting them go with you overseas. It's not going to happen. In America, somebody can live in a different state, and if you don't want to live in the state that your children were born and raised in, you'll never see your kids again. They're not going to let the child go to a different state to be with you. That's something that you work out as a couple. If she decides to do that with you, that's one thing. But the courts, that's not what the courts facilitate. You have to be where the child is. He doesn't understand that, and he doesn't care.
Hitting me, it doesn't really make sense to me how I can just turn on the fucking camera or something while she's beating the fuck out of me. I'm gonna end this video.
Really? Even Johnny Depp didn't say Amber Heard was beating the F out of him. He said these are specific situations where she put hands on me. He wasn't like, she was beating me and I was a slave. You were a slave? This dude is full of himself. He's a Toys R Us kid. He's used to being infantilized and coddled. And everybody feeling sorry for him because what his daddy did. I didn't do it. Your daddy did it. Go make his life a living hell. Fuck you making my life a living hell for?
with a recorded phone call I've had with that person. That's all I got as proof. I'm sorry. I have a really big problem of trust with you. I don't think it's that hard for me to go over to America and try to. I have a really, as far as the babies,
All right, so let's listen to this part again.
I think I have to file an international divorce on my end, figure out if I can bring the babies here. I don't have a visual proof of her hitting me. It doesn't really make sense to me how I can just turn on a fucking camera or something while she's beating the fuck out of me.
So she was beating the F out of you 24/7. You Mr. Cameraman, you Mr. Edit Man, you a rapper. But it never made sense for you to record her doing that. And see, what y'all have to understand with this Amber Heard situation was that was the same thing. She had video footage of Johnny Depp falling asleep on the couch, angry conversations that they had, but she didn't have a whole bunch of pictures and video and audio conversations. Not one video of him laying hands on her. Not one. And she's saying that he's doing this on a regular basis. See, he's the Amber Heard in this situation. That's what he doesn't realize. He thinks he's Johnny Depp. You're not the Johnny Depp, bruh. You're the Amber Heard.
I'm gonna end this video with a recorded phone call I've had with that person. That's all I got as proof. I'm sorry. I have a
So he kept saying that person whenever he talked about the mother of his children, his former wife, he would be like, that person. And you can just tell there is no love. He used her how he wanted to use her, and now he's done. Please thumbs up the video and subscribe. Thank you for being here. So this is the audio now, okay, that I'm playing. This is the audio. Let's take a listen.
really big problem of trust with you. I don't think it's that hard for me to go over to America and try to, for us to try again, but I think
Okay, I know exactly where you're going with this. I don't want to cut you off, but one solution that I thought of is putting cameras like in the house.
you can easily just get rid of any footage of you hitting me or anything. Like I cannot trust that. I
But
can't.
if I give you like the full, like, you know what I mean, like complete access to it, and
How do,
like,
how do
stuff
I
like
know
that,
if
I think that
how do I know if you're gonna give me all of that full access to everything? Let's say, and then you just you just take it all back because you want to with force. Like
I will not. I understand. You know what I mean? Like my faults and like where I went wrong.
that's the thing. I know that you see the situation, and yes, our relationship and what we had is something definitely worth trying for.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, if something goes wrong, if I decide to not keep up with my end of the part, all you have is you don't have scars left on your body. You just have me leaving or some shit, like a divorce.
I'm saying like that's not gonna happen.
That's the part where I think you don't understand is that for
So she categorically denies ever putting her hands on him. And he's saying in this phone call, oh, you don't have scars on your body. That's what I have from what you did to me. Why wouldn't she be like, scars on your body? Right? This video is clearly edited. The sound quality of her talking versus him talking, the way that she never talks over him. She never, their conversation only overlaps with him, never with her. He has edited this video, y'all. If he should be embarrassed and he should take it down, play himself. But she'll have it as proof in the court case, you know, and it won't take a sound expert long, an audio expert long to understand that this video has been edited by Mr. SoundCloud man, Mr. Mixtape, because that's what he does.
I went through some shit that left scars on my body. I get aggressive and irrational. You get violent.
For me, the preventative measures that I can take is one, putting cameras in the house.
He said you get violent, and she responds with the preventative measures that I can take. What is she, a robot? It's edited. You just lost all credibility, bruh. Because I'm not going to sit here and be lied to and manipulated. He thinks that y'all are dumb. Understand this. His audience, not my steelies though. He thinks his audience is dumb. Because he was able to come on and do all those whack-ass prank videos. Okay. Tells him I didn't want to do it. Then don't do it. Nobody made you squirt ketchup all over your face and get out of here. I haven't done not one prank video. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it.
I'm giving you all the access to that. And then 2, I'm actually going to be getting a job.
That's all cool and that's all good, like ways to try, but it's not direct solutions. It's a fucking cycle.
It has to be the last
It has to be, but like it's.
Look, he said. You hear what he said? He's like, that's all well and good, but that's not. And then she says, it has to be the last time. What kind of response is that to what he's saying? This is so clearly edited. You have to be a child to not understand that. And if somebody will go to the lengths to edit audio to make it sound like he's a victim of abuse, what else will he do? Well, the courts can decide that.
It's always said at urgent times, this has to be the last time, and it will be the last time, and this is our last chance, and then it fucking happens again.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. It's giving 90 Day Fiance. It's giving 90 Day Fiance. Okay? Don't be with somebody that's not on your level. I don't care where they coming from. He's not on her level. He's sitting there, he wants to be a rapper. She's a college-educated, intelligent woman. She went so far as to learn his language, travel to his country, teach children in his country, and he wants to cop an attitude when she says, if you wear a black hairstyle, that would be appropriation. He don't care about where she's coming from. Then y'all want to sit there and be like, don't make it a race thing. Don't make it a race thing. He's making it a race thing by thinking that he's better than somebody.
We've never tried it like this before, though. You know how you say that you try to hurt me in ways that, like, you know what I mean? I will never be able to hurt you.
Yes.
It's the same thing. I can't hurt you emotionally like you hurt me.
So it gets physical.
Yeah, and that became my outlet. I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm apologizing. I'm so sorry. If there's one thing that I've realized throughout this time apart is that I fucking saying that it's...
Listen to... It's so obviously edited, guys. Listen to the gap between when she says sorry and when she says the next word. Listen to this audio-wise. Listen to this.
Right, and I'm apologizing. I'm so sorry. If there's one thing that I've realized throughout this time apart.
Okay, so when you're on set, they do something called where they take the room sound, okay? And that is the background noise that is happening in the room. You can tell that from one sentence to another, there's a completely different room sound. You can hear like an AC on or something in the background in one sentence, and you don't hear it in the other. It's totally different room sound. He edited this, so give it up. Stop trying to say, oh, it's not both of them, and blah, blah, blah. We don't know, we don't know. We know. That's what I'm talking about. I wouldn't get on here if I didn't know. We know. Okay? It's over. He edited this clip, and he said, this is the only proof I have. Sorry, guys. That's what he said in the video. Oh, this is the only proof I have. Sorry, guys. Nobody cares because it's not proof, bruh. You edited it. And if she sues you for slander and takes away your parental rights, it'll be what you get. I wouldn't waste my time. You're wasting your time. Okay.
I fucking love you with every single fucking fiber of my being.
Can I tell you two things, too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one is that for me, it's been hell, too, ever since I left.
Yeah.
Every single night. Like, I can't sleep well, and I can't, like, eat well, and my tendency to run away from everything just keeps getting worse and worse. I remember, you know, what we used to have. It was like I was in heaven, right? And I'm sure for you too. But
yeah,
I went to the 정신과, like a psychology thingy, because it got really, really bad.
Yo, when I was in college, they had what's that disease that the college kids get for kissing each other all the time? Mono. As soon as I heard about that, I was like, it's a wrap. You don't have to tell me twice. Okay? And I told you guys, people would like start rumors about me being like, is she asexual? Is she they're like, what is she? Are you a lesbian? Like people want to know, like, why don't we see you hooking up with random guys? Because I'm not here to hook up with random guys. I'm here to get my degree. I'm here to get my degree. I'm here to make connections. I'm not here for you to talk about who I'm hooking up with. That's child shit.
I couldn't do normal life. She told her everything, and she was like, if it got to the point that it got worse and worse, and she eventually like hakde you, like abused you. No matter how hard they claimed they would work on it, the chances of them actually changing, but she would personally strongly advise not going back to a partner that was abusive. That's the logical side, right? And me, I'm thinking I want to go back because I want to make everything fucking work, and we have kids. And I've been giving you a chance. I've been giving you a chance every day for 3 years.
You have not been giving her a chance for 3 years. You've been hitting up the club raw for 3 years, making babies. You weren't working on a relationship. Clown.
I will not. I never will.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but this part right here, the way he edited this and stuff, it sounds like some weird anime or something. It just sounds so weird. Like, why is he crying? Like, why? It's just so weird the way, like, she starts crying and then they start crying like out of nowhere and they're like crying with each other. It just reminded me of like a telenovela or something. It was so weird. Like, you guys gotta listen to this.
나 죽고 싶어 진짜. I've literally been suicidal this entire time, and I'm telling you, please just give me one more chance, and I will make sure that it never happens again. I'm telling you.
I can't trust people anymore.
Please, one more chance.
I can't trust it.
The way that he's crying in between, not her. She said that she had to say those things to try to get her husband, the father of her children, to come home so that her children have a father. But why is he crying? He's like, I can't trust anybody. Like, what? What are you talking about, bro? They hang it up. If you can't trust anybody, keep your legs closed. And stop trying to sleep with women. If you can't trust anybody, you need to go to therapy, not make babies.
One more chance, please. I'm telling you.
Fuck me up.
Please, one more chance is all I'm asking for. I understand that, and I'm so sorry, and I apologize, and I'm just asking for one more chance. I'm telling you.
I've been suicidal for the past 3 years.
He sounds so foolish. I'm sorry. He literally is just repeating things that she said, because that's what narcissists do. They don't have personalities of their own. They mimic the behavior of people around them. She started crying, and then he started crying. You have to understand that we're dealing with narcissists. It's just so weird. Like, I'm like, what were you trying to gain? What were you trying to do with that, bro? That's so weird. And where she obviously seems upset, he's edited it to be like, I was also upset, guys, and focus on my pain too, guys. You know, it's like, get out of here. You're supposed to be a man. Go lift some weights. Go hammer some nails. Get the fuck on my face. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I know you're sorry, but I can't. I love you, but we're gonna solve.
No, I love that.
And let me tell you something. Don't ever cry for a dude. If you try to break up with me, aha! Bye. Bye. Get out of here. Go. Get your stuff. Angela Bassett. Shh. That's all I got for you. I don't have no tears. Never let them see you sweat. Never let them. Never let them. Don't ever cry for these dudes. Don't ever be telling them, I love you so much. All that. Let your mama love you. Bye-bye. Because see, men think, they're always like, a good guy don't come around, so neither does a good woman. Neither does a good woman. Good luck. Goodbye. You know? And I think, again, as I've said before earlier, the only reason that she said the reason that she was doing that, right? It's like she's like trying to get her children's father to stay. Her children depend on him. How you gonna leave your children? It's 2022 and you chose to be a deadbeat dad. You better hurry up and make that right. For what a reputation. That'll be your international reputation. So you can go home and pretend like you don't have a family all you want. But understand, wherever you go, anywhere else, people are going to know. That's your reputation. A deadbeat dad in the year 2022.
I want to give you a chance, but I can't get out the feeling that if I do, I'm gonna be a slave again, and I'm gonna be beat like a dog again. I won't be treated.
I'm gonna be a slave again, and I'm gonna be beat like a dog again. Again, why I say this reminds me of the Amber Heard situation, because he cannot show you proof of injuries. My phone is telling me time to go to bed. He cannot show you proof of injuries to correlate to the abuse he alleges. Okay? So if you're being, I was abused as a child. Adults put their hands on me. You would get welts. You know what a welt is? It's not just the skin is raised, but oftentimes there'll be a fine line of a scar because of the whip, right, of the belt cutting you. That cut is what leads to the welt. If you're being beat like a dog, you would have proof. The only proof that you have wouldn't be some edited audio tape of a conversation when you were manipulating her to say things that you wanted her to say.
Don't be treated like.
I promise with everything in me, I promise.
Can you send me Savannah and Saphir? I'll take care of them.
No, please just give me, you have to at least see me, please.
It's happened before, then it'll happen again. Action does speak louder than words. Normal people wouldn't treat somebody like a fucking slave and not let them sleep and fucking physically harass them. Nobody. That's not regular toxic. If this was regular toxic, I would give it a chance a million times.
Physically harass? I mean, it's just an odd wording. Treat somebody like a slave, not let them sleep. You're not supposed to be sleeping. Nobody feels sorry for you. You have 2 kids. You're not supposed to be sleeping. And I'm up working, pregnant. You would never sleep. You would never sleep. And one, you would never have, I would never bring a man's child into this world before he married me. Never. Never. You don't get legacy without marriage. Period. Y'all got to teach these dudes that.
Those first couple days were like heaven on fucking earth, and I knew from that day forward you were my person. And I fucked that up majorly. I know I fucked it up. You remember when we had to sneak around? You were my person.
Okay, so after she says something effed it up, it's a totally different room sound. You can hear the audio is totally different in the background. This is edited. I'm showing you guys the proof. So you don't have to walk around and be like, we don't know who did what. I'm telling you who did what. He edited an audio clip to make it sound like she was abusive to him and was admitting to it. And it's not true. And if he would do that, what else would he lie about? All of his credibility is out the window.
And I fucked that up Naturally, I know I fucked it up. You remember when
See, you know, like nobody's voice changes that quickly. This dude is editing sound clips. I'm just pointing out to you the sounds, the literal sounds. Okay? So you can understand you're being lied to. For whoever's sitting out there believing this guy.
we had to sneak around and put you in my dorm room, and we were laying in the bed that one day, and we said it was too good to be true, and you were like a dream, and we said it was like a dream, babe. We could still be a dream. Do you remember our late nights at the apartment, and you fucking loved me so much, you wanted to spend more time with me, you used your whole allowance to come out there, and you tried to get a job because you wanted to be with me.
Tried to get a job. I'm sorry. You wouldn't even talk to me without a job. You would have been an encounter at a club on a night. You would not have gotten to America on my dime with my efforts. No, you wouldn't have. You had to find somebody else to try to get your rap career on. See, men will take advantage of good-hearted, kind-hearted women. That's why women, it behooves you to not be good-hearted and kind-hearted to these dudes until they prove what they can do for you. And it just is what it is.
My therapist on YouTube channel, and you know what he said? He said regardless of if some of this was faked, he said one thing that you can never fake is the look that you guys gave each other, the looks that you guys give each other.
Therapists need to stop commenting on people's relationships and focus on what's going on in the head. Okay? Because she said she had some therapist that was like, you can't fake that. And I've talked to other women that'll be like, you know, my therapist or this person said the way that we look at each other, I'm like, there's nothing there, sweetheart. Aha! There's nothing there. If you don't have a job, you have nothing. That's why I didn't date when I was in college. Because I was like, what y'all can do for me? You can't do nothing for me. You don't have a job. Okay? All right? If I want to date somebody in college, I'll date a professor. Why would I date a student? Okay? Okay? I don't care about, oh, they complimented me. Oh, we have fun in the night. Who cares? You're young. You'll get complimented. You'll have fun at night. When we're talking about who I'm going to emotionally invest in, I'm going to emotionally invest in a man that is financially invested in me. Okay? That's period.
And he said, I understand that while you guys might have, it's understandable to take a wrong path in this type of situation. It's very high stress, and I understand the both of you. He said you cannot fake that kind of love. And he said, even...
That's not true. That's what I'm telling you. Stop listening to these therapists. You can't fake that kind of love. You can absolutely fake love. Men do it all the time. They fake being in love with a woman to get into her pants. Okay? That's why you can't count on anything they say. You can't count on quivering lips and whispers in the night and hot breath on your neck. Y'all know I can't stand the hot breath on your neck. Get off of me. Where the money at? Where? This is a sticker. I need them bags or that money. Where is the money? Show me the money. Okay, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. I don't care what you say. I don't care how fun the night was. I don't care about none of that. That's not mean, ladies. That's survival.
800,000 people can feel your love, and you cannot fake that. I don't care if the fucking...
These people are voyeuristic people on y'all channel. Those 800,000 people that's on y'all channel, your therapist needs to be sued for what they told you. People are voyeuristic. They like to think that people are giving them real insight into their relationships. And as you can see, they're not. They're not giving you real insight into their relationships until the shit fails. After it fails, then they give you a real insight. All that funny, lovey-dovey-ish, that's usually an act.
Frank pranks were faked and like all that stuff. We never have to do a fucking prank again in our lives. I fell in love with Youngin, the musician, Youngin the weird.
Oh Lord! Oh, she really is trying to help this dude out. I fell in love with the musician. Musician? That's a reach. Right now, all he's doing is looking like a manipulative deadbeat dad. You're not a musician, bruh. It's not going to help your music career to not take care of your responsibilities in this life and go run off to a different country and pretend like the life you created in another country doesn't exist. Don't be like Barack Obama Sr. Is that way? I don't know Barack Obama daddy name, but that's what his daddy was doing. Bopping around the globe, making babies and leaving. And they do it because they can get away with it. He wouldn't have done that if he knew by the time he got to Korea, those two kids was sitting at his doorstep. Go ahead and take care of all that. Go ahead and take care of that. He'd be like, oh, hell no, I got to figure out some way to make this work with her. I'm not trying to take care of these kids by myself. Stop letting these dudes think you will take care of their kids. I'm not raising no man's kids by myself.
Guy, the goofy guy. And I didn't give a fuck what other people thought of you, what people thought of your fucking hair. I fell in love with Youngin.
But your actions showed different. Your actions showed me that all you care about is money and all you care about is our YouTube stat. All you care about is my hair looking okay in the Black community.
What? Nobody cares about your hair, bruh. Then he says, and then he's talking and giving audio, and there's words all over the screen. It's incoherent at best. But he goes on to say, she made me cut my hair whenever it got long because she wanted more K-pop fans to subscribe. I wanted a man space buns, but she thought the Black community thought it was messy and unkempt. I seen your hair in the bun. I seen your hair short. I don't care. I don't care at all. Nobody cares. That's the problem with these YouTubers. Like, they think nobody cares. Do what you got to do, bro. So you left your children because you wanted to make a man bun? Is that what you're telling me?
All you cared about is...
It's okay. I don't give a fuck. We can get off social media.
I had to fake my personality.
She made me act a responsible... This is what he wrote. She made me act a responsible, selfless, like a certain persona. See, it's incoherent. She made me act a responsible, selfless, like a certain persona, and we would have to react and edit out parts of me being myself or goofy. Probably because yourself or goofy was coming off looking forced and weird and awkward. You're not perfect, bro.
I had to fake shit like...
I had to fake it. And you was loving the money. So who cares? You made that choice. She wanted a certain rich, young, capable parent image out there in society. God forbid. God forbid. I would want that for more than just YouTube. She wanted you to be capable and have money. God forbid. And be a decent parent. Oh, no. And I wasn't allowed to have non-mutual friends. She also made me lie about having a driver's license, but wouldn't take me to or let me take classes for it. I mean, you're a grown man. Get out there and get that done. So it's always some excuse for why you're not handling your responsibility. And nobody cares.
Give me all the freedom in the world. I had to fake cry for shit up.
And you still fake crying. So what are you complaining about? Very awkward, very weird. He goes on to say she wanted to film a video of me crying because my grandma's getting old. I'm sad that she is, but I wouldn't cry about it. She gave me 10 minutes to make myself cry in front of the camera for more views because I didn't want her to slap me until I did. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't give a fuck about. I have your fucking face on my right arm. Like, you give me all the freedom in the world. I had to fake cry for shit. I don't give a.
he is really mad about that Biggie Smalls tattoo that he willingly went out and got. Again, go look at the video of them talking about the tattoo. He said, I got it because we were joking around about joking around and joking around and joke. Okay, and then you went and got some big behind tattoo of what Saros says looked like Biggie Smalls and a tiger. For clout. You did it for clout. Ain't nobody make you do that. She was looking at, you should see that video. She's looking at him. She was like, it was at that point that she knew. Okay, wrap it up. And he goes on to say, if she wanted to film a video, oh wait, no, I already said that.
Talk about. I have your fucking face on my.
Look how he's talking to her. You better watch your tone while you talking to me. You the one that chose to get that tattoo of Biggie Smalls, bruh. Anyways, he says, she took me to the tattoo shop and made me get a tattoo of her face and act like it was a surprise for her so the viewers would get the impression I'm so in love with her, I wouldn't mind a permanent marking of her on my body forever. Well, apparently it's not of her. Apparently it's of Biggie Smalls, okay? So you better just, chalk it up to hip hop, I guess. I think he got this tattoo done in like Idaho or something. I'm like, bruh. And he sounds really angry about that. He flipped so quick. That's not a good sign. That's a red flag, the way he flipped. That's a red flag. His behavior, if I was her, I would be like, I'm just going to separate from him as soon as possible because that is bizarre behavior for a married man with 2 young children to display.
Right arm because you thought it would be great for views. I have your fucking face.
Look, he just put like a little sound clip of her saying, yeah. To make it sound like she was saying, yeah, I made him get that tattoo. She hates that tattoo. I hate the tattoo, okay? Nobody likes that tattoo. The guy who made the tattoo don't like the tattoo. Nobody likes it.
Arm because you wanted more money.
We can completely get rid of that aspect. We won't ever have to think about YouTube again. I'm gonna get a high-paying job.
That's not the point.
So anyway, she's responding to things that he says, not in a way that makes sense. Just further proof for you guys to understand that this audio clip is edited.
I told you you were controlling, and you were you were good with that.
So yeah, anyways, I gotta get going. I think we've discussed this topic enough, okay? I wish Saros all the best, her and her 2 young children. I know this must be very difficult. And again, it's just a reminder of why it's so important to not make big life-altering decisions when you're young, such as having children and getting married. Because you don't know who somebody is. You barely know yourself when you're young, okay? And sadly, she had to find out in a very difficult, hard way. But we all do, and that's part of growing pains, But you don't want to end up in a situation like this on some growing pains-ish. And I think that it can be avoided, situations like this, if you remember to always vet, find men that have good jobs attractive, first and foremost. recognize the red flags of a man trying to initiate sexual intimacies and encounters when you barely know each other. That is a red flag. I don't care how young, horny, and excited you are. And these are things that I want you guys to understand and take away from that. Also, cultural differences are no joke. You know, I talk about often on this channel, men don't understand women. So when you add in different ethnicity, different race, different nationality, different cultures, the relationship is going to be more difficult. And when you don't know someone, right, it just all adds up to being a lot more difficult. So get to know people, get to know yourself, take your time. Don't feel like you have to give men sex, especially nowadays. All right, we're dealing with monkeypox. All right, and thank you guys for being here. I really appreciated it. Again, I saw this topic going around, and I thought it was a good moment to talk about a lot of these issues. And hopefully, a woman that would end up in this situation will not end up in this situation watching this video and understanding that if it looks exciting and it looks intriguing, it doesn't make it a long-term relationship. It doesn't make it right. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys can understand that about this situation. And if you're a fan of these people, continue supporting Saros and her sons. And yeah, you know, I wish her and her children all the best. Understand when people are lying to you, because a lot of these YouTubers get on here and they lie to you guys, and it's not right. So understand that and just be more aware. A lot of y'all, you can't vet the content creators you follow. You can't vet your friends. And that's why you can't vet a man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to be vetted in every way. You have to study people and take them in and pay attention to what they say and what they do and how they move. You know, so again, wishing them all the best. Thank you guys for being here. Have a good night. I'll see you soon. Mwah!